Hello everybody, welcome back. So in the previous video we were talking about iterables and iterators. We saw the implementation of a new class that is an iterator class that has the method next and so on. In here, let's talk a little bit more about iterables and how the for loop uses them and goes through in making an iterator from them. So let's begin with an example. And by the way, this code is under the same file, so you can find it by going to my GitHub, and you'll see it all there. Okay, so we're going to do for loops on an iterable, list, dictionaries. So for now, let's just use a very simple list. I'm going to call it my list. And it's going to consist of 3 items: apple, orange, and banana. So let's run that. So I got my list in there. So what type is my list? It's list, obviously, right? So let's dig in and find out what methods are available in my list. And this is very similar to what I showed during CEIS 110 when I cover lists, when I cover data structures. I told you data structures are objects of class of that data structure, in this case, class list. So what methods do we have under my list? So we see with the dir built-in command, that's one way to get them. So I see my lists, I see the number of methods available. And right here you see the ones with the 2 underscore and then the name of the method and underscore twice again. And I go through it alphabetically and I get to the N. I see NE, I see NEW, but I do not see next. It doesn't have next. It's not an iterator. It is an iterable, but it's not an iterator. And why is it an iterable? It's an iterable because it will allow the for loop, as I will show here, to build an iterator out of it. So the for loop is going to know how to handle an iterable, an iterable to create an iterator and be able to do the iterations, right? So I'm going to do just that. I'm going to run it, and I'm just going to see what happens. So there it is. It took my list, which is apple, orange, and banana, right? It went through the loop for each of those, and it printed them just like I asked it to do. So I went once, twice, 3 times. It picked up everything that was in my iterable is not an easy word to say, right? But it's okay. Iterable, and it listed and printed each of those right here with this command, right? But so what's happening? So it's not an iterator. Well, the for loop is going to take care of that. The for loop in the background, behind the scenes, will create that iterator that is going to be used that contains the next method so that it can go through it and eventually get out of the iterations, complete the loops. So how does that work? How does that work? So there is a built-in function in Python that is called iter, or should we say iter? Iter, I would say iter for iteration because it comes from that word. Okay, it's a built-in function, and it's what it does. It will turn an iterable object into an iterator. That's what it is. That's what it does. So let me just fix this right here. Put the backtick a little bit too early and document this properly. So I'm going to apply it on my list, right? I'm going to apply iter to my list because behind the scenes and in the background, right, the for loop is doing pretty much the same. It's making my list into an iterator that I'm here going to call it my iterator. I'm just going to show it to you here by hand. So let's run it. So it's run. It has ran, so it has my iterator. So what type is my iterator? What type of object it is? It is a list iterator. So it's no longer a list. My list was type list. My underscore iterator that I run, where I run the method, the function iter, that is type list iterator. So it has the word iterator. So let's explore under my iterator. Let's explore and see what we have, what methods are available. And there you go. There you go. Not too many. It's a little bit simpler, but you see, next is included. So it meets that requirement. To become an iterator, you have to have the next, to go through the sequence and to be able to pull out of the iterable, to pull out the next value out of the iterable and be able to do the loop. All right, so I hope this works for you. I hope you find it to be valuable, a good learning experience. So that's an iterator vignette. I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye-bye.